Hi, Dave here with Barton Industries. Today we're going to show you how to install a Barton pistol grip in your 2015 and newer Challenger and Charger. Alright, so the first thing that we are going to want to do is we're going to need to pop this plastic trim bezel up. You can use like an interior trim pry tool. So what we're going to do is we're just basically going to pop this up. Now the next step is on the back side here. Once you have this console piece popped up, is you're going to take the provided Allen wrench, and there's an electrical connection, and you're going to kind of just push the tab down here with the Allen wrench and just kind of push it back as you're doing that, and that'll pop the electrical connection out. And then once you have the electrical connection out, just pull up the trim piece, and you'll notice that there is a Torx bit screw here, so you need to take a T25 Torx bit handle, and we're just going to remove this screw. So once you have the screw removed, then your whole trim and shift knob and everything is going to slide right off the shifter. Okay, so once we have the shift knob and the trim piece removed, we need to remove the leather boot and the shift knob here from the trim piece. So we're going to do that by just pushing in the tabs on the bottom of the bezel here, and that's just going to pop the whole shift knob right out. Alright, so once we have that removed, the next step is you're going to want to just kind of take the Allen wrench we provide and again push in on the plastic tabs, and while you're doing that, push forward. And that'll allow the knob to separate from the boot. So then go ahead and take your electrical connection and kind of slide it out of the plastic piece, and then you're going to want to take it and pull it through the loop, and that will allow the shift knob to be removed from the leather boot. So you'll notice on the bottom of the leather boot we now have a plastic piece, and this is just glued on. So what we're going to want to do is just carefully pull it away from the plastic piece. Be careful not to tear your boot, but just keep pushing in on it and working the glue off. So now the plastic piece is removed from the boot here. Okay, the next step is once you have the boot off, we are going to need to remove a couple stitches so that the opening in the bottom of the boot can get around the pistol grip. So we're just going to take a razor blade and just right at the seam where it's stitched, we're just going to very lightly remove a couple of the stitches. So I would go about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch down. Do that on both sides. Okay, so you can see the seams here are split. So now that should allow us to stretch it wide enough to get over the pistol grip. So then with the boot going down, notice the trim bezel piece and the orientation of it. So invert the boot down, and then we're going to take the pistol grip and we're going to put it through, and we're going to work the bottom of the pistol grip through the boot here. So now you have a screw on the side, so we got to make sure the boot is above that. And now what we're going to do is just take the provided zip tie, and you'll also notice on the pistol grip there's a groove here, and that's right where we're going to put the zip tie. Alright, so now we can remove the excess zip tie with a razor blade or some snips. And now the boot portion of the pistol grip is done. Okay, the next step is to take the slider block, and we're going to take one of the provided set screws here in our Allen wrench, and we're going to go ahead and start this screw in the back of the block, and there's only one, there's not one on the other side. So go ahead and get that started. And at this point you don't want to screw it in too far where it's protruding into the hole, so just get it started. And then we're going to take it and we're going to slide it over the shifter, and on the back of the shifter you can see that there's a hole here. We need to put the set screw into that hole. So go ahead and slide the block on, and then we need to get the hole and the set screw lined up. And so once you feel the set screw tighten up, just back it off and make sure that if you go to pull the block off, you can't. See, so right here it's coming up. That means it did not go into the hole. So we need to come back down and try to find the hole there. So right there, if I back it off again, I know that it's in there. So then now we'll just go ahead and snug it up. Alright, so that's snug on there. And now the next thing that we need to do is take the two provided springs, and on the back of the block you'll notice that there's two holes here. That's where the springs need to go, so we're just going to put those in there. Now at this point what you need to do is reconnect your factory knob, the electrical connection here. If you don't do this, you're going to get an error on your instrument cluster saying that there's a problem with the shifter. So connect the electrical connection. You're going to route it on the driver's side up in front of the shifter. Will provide a bag so that your shift knob does not get damaged. So this is just going to sit in a place right above your shifter here. And that's on the Challengers. On the Chargers, you're going to have two Allen screws up front here that you need to remove. They're actually Phillips head screws that you'll need to remove, and then you're going to pry that plastic trim piece up and then slide your knob under there and then put the trim piece back down. Okay, so once you have your factory knob plugged in and stored in front of the shifter, then we're going to take the trim piece here, we're going to put it back in place and snap it down. So I'm going to just leave it off for this section so I can show you, but at this point go ahead and put the plastic bezel back in place. So the next step, once you have the plastic piece in place, is you're going to take the provided screw here with your Allen wrench, and we're going to take the pistol grip and go ahead and just slide it over the shaft and onto the block, and you may need to kind of wiggle it to get the springs to seat into place. So right now you can see it pushes up and down freely. So on the side of the pistol grip is that screw. We need to put the screw in. And you're going to want to do this with some slight pressure down onto the pistol grip so that the screw can fall into this slot here. Go ahead and tighten that up. And then the grip should go up and down freely. Now your plastic bezel will already be on at this point. Let's see if I can get this over it. Yep. So you have the pistol grip on now. Now all you have to do is just take your boot and go ahead and pop it right back into place here. And then you're just going to pull the boot down. And then start your car up, make sure there's no engine light for the shift knob, and make sure you can push it down and get through all the gears. That's it.